Everybody. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to yoga. And for this practice, you don't really need any specific props aside from your yoga mat. Although you might find it useful to have a pillow or a blanket, or maybe even some blocks if you have them, something to put under your hands to lift the floor up a little bit for when we bend over. And if you don't have blocks, you could always go ahead and grab a book or two. So we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to start in a seated position tonight. You can go ahead and make yourself comfortable. And I really mean make yourself comfortable. So you don't need to sit with your legs crossed like I have them in a kind of typical yoga position. You could have your legs extended or even lie down on your back if that feels better, or sit in a chair if that feels better in your body. And once you're ready, go ahead and close your eyes. Just softly turn your gaze downward. Find a comfortable place for your hands on your lap. Maybe check to make sure that you're not slouching forward, caving in and closing off your heart. So you want to sit up nice and tall, draw the shoulders back, broaden across the collarbones, and open up the chest. And then just take a few moments to arrive, especially if you've had a really busy day. Maybe this is the first time that you are actually coming to stillness, slowing down. So just allow your head and your body to kind of catch up with each other in time and space. A lot of times when we're really, really busy, we're all in our head and can get kind of disconnected from our bodies. Some of us are fairly disconnected from our bodies in general, and that's our kind of day-to-day way of being. Just see if you can land in a place where you can bring the fullness of yourself into the mat, into the practice. So an integration of the mind, the body, and the heart. And then this begins to check in with your breath. Feeling its movement through your body. Drawing breath in and feeling the expansion of your belly and lift of your heart. And then feeling the reverse as you let the breath go. And then just take a few moments here to notice what it is that you're feeling in your body. So any aches or pains, sense of stiffness in the joints or tightness in the muscles. Maybe your body's feeling great this evening. Don't want to assume that it's not. And then noticing the state of your mind, if it feels calm and serene, if it feels tired, maybe a little too full, or maybe distracted. Just taking note, no judgment here. And then noticing what's going on in your heart, noticing how you feel emotionally or in your heart space. And I know for myself, I feel like I'm carrying a lot of sadness and a lot of pain today. There's plenty of things in the world right now that are challenging. You don't need to look far. And I know a lot of people are personally feeling very challenged these days. And a lot of the time I can just kind of ride it out, keep going, keep it at a level that feels manageable. But today, I really feel that heaviness and feel that pain. And so if that's the case for you, just know that it's okay, that you're not the only one going through that. And in a lot of ways, if you weren't feeling some of that, there might be something wrong. And I'm going to offer up meditation in the form of a poem for those that might be feeling some of this too. And it's called Meditation on Hope and Love in a Time of Struggle. And it's by a woman named Alice Anechka Ashman. In a world so filled with brokenness and sorrow, it would be easy to lose ourselves in never-ending grief, to be choked by our outrage, to be paralyzed by the enormity of suffering, to feel our hearts squeezed tight with hopelessness. Instead, this evening, let us simply breathe together as we hold our hearts open. Breathing in as our hearts fill with compassion. Breathing out as we pray for healing in our world and in our lives. Breathing in, opening ourselves to the transforming power of love. Breathing out as we pray for peace in our world and in our lives. Breathing in as we hold hope in our hearts. Breathing out as we pray for justice in our world and in our lives. May we know our strength. May we be filled with courage. May our love flow from us into this world. Breathing in, we are the prayer. Breathing out, we are the healing. Breathing in, we are the love. Breathing out, we are the peace. Breathing in, we are the hope. Breathing out, we are the justice. May we know our strength. May we be filled with courage. May our love flow from us into this world. May it ever be so. Go ahead and bring your hands together in that heart center, allowing the thumbs to touch in right at the center of the chest, or in yoga, as we call it, the spiritual heart center. And maybe bow your head for a moment, feeling a slight elongation of the muscles, the back of the neck. You may be feeling the resonance of those words or whatever else it is that you're feeling or experiencing in this moment, and make space for it. And then go ahead and open your eyes. We're going to begin with a simple bit of movement, some variation on the paragraph. You're going to inhale, starting with the hands at the heart. Go ahead and reach the arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, spin the palms out and allow your fingertips to come down to touch on either side. And then inhale, sweep the arms up, maybe look up and go tall. And then exhale and draw the hands in at your heart. And then again, inhale, let the arms track up as your gaze follows. And then exhale, reach the arms out and let the fingertips ground down. Inhale, arms are going to reach up, lift up. And then exhale and draw the hands together at the heart. And one last time, go ahead and reach the hands up. Exhale, allow them to find their way to the ground. Inhale and sweep the arms up overhead. And then exhale and draw them in to the heart. We're going to take a simple twist here. So twisting to the left, go ahead and bring your hand behind you. Let the right hand come across. Lift up through the center of the body and begin to twist to the left. Take one more breath here. And then unwind. And we're going to go in the opposite direction. So twisting over to the right, taking that left hand across, wrapping and twisting from the lowest point to the highest. Take one more breath. And then release. And we're going to come on to our backs from here. So go ahead and come on to your back. And as you do that, go ahead and bend your knees so that the lower back can ground onto the floor. And just take a few breaths. Let the shoulders relax down. Back of the head heavy. And then keeping your knees bent and your feet firmly rooted. Go ahead and bring your hands behind your head. Let your elbows drop out in either direction. We're going to come into a little bit of a side bend. So you're going to begin to curve your upper body into the shape of a C. So begin to draw that right elbow down along your side. Keep relaxing that upper left-hand corner of your back and your left arm down to the floor. You take a couple more breaths here. Feel the elongation of the waist, the opening of the rib cage, especially on that left-hand side. And then come back to the center and pause. And we're going to go to the other side. So begin to shift the upper body to the left, drawing the left elbow closer to the waistline. And feeling that stretch along the right-hand side. Another couple moments here. And then come back to the center. And release your arms down by your side. Make sure that your feet are about hip distance apart. And maybe lock your heels in closer up to your behind that your fingertips can graze the back of your heels if that's not too much stress on your knees. And then we're going to begin to lift up and down in a bridge pose, connecting to our breath. So go ahead and inhale, press into your feet and lift your belly up. And then exhale and slowly roll down to the floor. Let the weight of your body settle completely. And then inhale, press into your feet, lift your pelvis up. And then exhale, settle down. If you want to add another layer, as an inhale, you can lift your pelvis and your backside up and simultaneously sweep your hands to the floor behind you. And then exhale and lower down. Syncing up your movements a few more times. Go ahead and inhale. And exhale. Another few rounds. And let this next one be your last. Go ahead and lift up, knowing it's your last. Maybe lift up a little bit higher. And then settle the back side down completely. Let the weight of your body meet the floor. And then bring your knees in towards your back. Rock them side to side. And then rolling yourself off to the side, or maybe just rocking yourself up straight to a seat. We're going to come on to hands and knees. So adjusting yourself on your mat. And if you need a little bit of cushion underneath your knees, feel free to grab a towel or a blanket. And we'll come into a tabletop position. All right. We're going to move from here into cat-cow, but we're going to bring our hips back towards our heels as we do our cow pose, or cat pose. So go ahead and inhale. Dip your belly down, draw the shoulders back, open up to the heart, chest, and throat. And then as you exhale, into your cat stretch, launch the back of the heart towards the ceiling, and then sit your hips back towards your heels. And then inhale, coming up. Dip your pelvis forward, draw your heart forward, open up. And then exhale, push the floor away from you. Draw your hips back towards your heels. And we'll go like that a few more times. And you might try moving through this with your eyes closed. Nice and slowly. And then the next time you sit your hips back towards your heels, fall into a full child's pose. You can bring your big toes together and open up your knees wide, making space for the belly. If you need to, you can fold your hands underneath your forehead. Take a few more moments here. And then come on back to your tabletop. Good. From your tabletop, go ahead and extend your left leg back. Reach through your heel, level off the pelvis. And then maybe you reach your right arm forward. Holding here, steady and strong. One more moment. Good. Lower your hand down, and with your leg extended, bring the ball of your foot to the floor. Push through your heel. Feel that simple, delicious stretch to the back of the calf. And then try to keep your body still, your hips level. And we're just going to sneak that right foot back and find a plank pose. Hold for a couple breaths. Make adjustments if you need to, but don't hike up those hips. And then it's downward facing dog. Lift the hips up and back. You can pedal the feet, wobble the hips, like this. Stretch the whole back plane of the body. A couple more moments here. And then dip your knees to the ground and find another child pose. So big toes together, knees apart, and come on down. If coming into a child's pose bothers you, you can always sit back on your heels and stay more upright as I am right now. And take one more breath in a resting position. And then find your way into a tabletop. Good. This time with your tabletop, it's the right leg that's going to extend out. Hips are level, crown of the head reaching. And reach your left arm forward, holding steady and strong. Take one more moment here. And then lower your hand. Lower the ball of your foot to the floor. Push through your heel. Take a moment. And then again, that little stealthy move. Just take your left foot back. Keep your hips steady and find it. Holding. One more moment. And then it's downward facing dog. Send the hips up and back. Adjust. You can have a big old bend to the knees if you need to. Release your head. Roll it on the side. And then begin to walk your hands and feet towards one another. And you'll come into a forward fold. So just letting the upper body drape down over your thighs. You might soften your knees some. Just allowing the upper body to hang downward. And from that position, you might find a little bit of sway, movement. And then press into your feet, draw yourself up to a big sweep of the arms. So let them come high and wide. And then draw your palms together at your heart, step your feet in. And then bring a hand to your heart and a hand to your belly. Take a moment here to pause and just feel this transition in our practice. Just another moment here. And then release your hands down. And come to the very front of your mat if you're not already there. So just coming straight up to one of the short ends of your mat. Bring your hands to your hips. And let's go ahead and step backwards with that left foot, just letting it flatten on the floor behind you. And you can move your right foot slightly to the right to find some stability. Square off your hips. And then bend deeply into that right knee and let your arms reach high. Going into warrior one pose here. And take a moment. Maybe there's a hint of a back bend that you feel. And then hands are going to come to your hips. Reach the crown of your head skyward. And then with straight legs, go ahead and pour yourself forward. You can let your fingertips frame your foot. Maybe you release your head. Take another moment here. Both legs straight. Fingertips on the floor or blocks, or maybe holding on somewhere on your leg. Good, and then bend deeply into your right knee. With your chest leaning forward, bring your hands to your hips and pause. See if you might straighten out your spine on a diagonal from that back leg, holding for a moment. And then inhale and lift the chest up. And maybe the arms rise as well. Pause. Hands to your hips. Step your back foot up, landing on both feet, find the ground. And then interlace your fingers right in front of your heart. Spin your palms forward. Stretch the heels of your palms back in space. And then reach your arms up overhead and rise up to the balls of your feet. Just coming into some balance here. Use your eyes to ground and anchor you, letting them land on a single still space. And then heels lower, and the arms float down as well. Take a breath in, and let it go. Good, we'll come to the other side. So up at the front of your mat, hands on your hips. Allow the right foot to step back this time. Adjust your stance, making it wide and steady. And then with hands on your hips, go ahead and bend into that front knee. Right. Keep steering your pelvis and directing it forward. And then reach your arms skyward. See if as the arms lift, the shoulders can continuously relax down. And then hands come to the hips. Inhale, both legs straight, crown of the head reaching, and then bow forward. Allow your fingertips to come to the floor. Maybe they rest at the inside of the foot. And one more moment here. And then deeply bend that left knee. Bring hands to your hips. Lift your chest just enough that you have this straight line from your right foot to the crown of your head. And then press and lift the chest up and let the arms rise as well. Take a moment. One more breath. Hands come in at the hips. Step the back foot forward. I'm going to interlace the fingers at your chest. Spin your palms forward. Pull the wrist back. And then reach your arms up overhead and rise to the balls of your feet. Holding. And lower your heels. Float the arms down. Take a breath in. And release. Good. Turn to the side of your mat. Either one of the long sides. Standing in the middle of your mat. Go ahead and bring hands to your hips and open your feet nice and wide, about as wide as one of your legs. Turn your left toes so they face the short edge of your mat. And then rotate the right toes a little bit in that direction. We're going to bend into our left knee, coming into warrior two, reach the arms wide. And gaze comes out over that left middle finger. Relax the shoulders down. One more breath here. And then push that front leg as it straightens. Go ahead and lift up and back. You want a nice stretch for your neck. Maybe you rotate the head to look at your back heel. And then coming back to warrior two, sink into that front leg. Going to use that front leg as a shelf for your arm and take your opposite arm up and over for extended side angle. And then once again, the front leg lifts and straightens, and we're going to reach up and back. And this time, coming upright in the torso, the legs are going to stay straight, and we're just going to tilt into our triangle pose. So letting yourself lean forward over that left leg, and then rotate your chest back as if you're leaning into the wall. Take a moment here. And then inhale. Come on up. Bring your hands to your hips. Now rotate to the side of your mat. Just step your feet together for a moment. Hands come in at the heart. Now, just sink your hips back like you're sitting in a chair pose. So sit your hips back. Hands can stay at the heart. Maybe they reach up. Hips sit back a little bit more, holding. And then rise up. Lean back into a back bend, gaze towards the ceiling. And then join your hands together at your heart. Take a breath in and let it go. And then we'll come to the other side. So opening your feet nice and wide, hands to your hips. Go ahead and rotate your right foot towards the short edge of your mat. Left toes, we're going to rotate a little bit in that direction. And then slide into warrior two, bending that front leg, arms come wide. Gaze out over the right middle finger. One more breath. And then straighten your front leg and reach up and down. Long extension. And slide back into warrior two. And then extended side angle, letting that forearm sink to your thigh. And then press into your foot. We're going to reverse one more time. Try to have your movements fluid. And then it's triangle pose. Retreat the Trikonasana, arms come wide. The hips are going to shift back as you reach. And just let that hand come down and roll the chest open. And come on up. Good. Step your feet together. Good. And you're going to go ahead one more time. We're coming into that chair pose. So hands can rest at the heart as you sink the hips back. Maybe you stay right here. Or maybe the arms reach up. Pull up. One more breath. And then press into the feet. Let's find a big back bend. And then hands come in to heart center. Take a breath in and let it go. Good. Turning to face the front of your mat. We're going to do a little bit of balance here. So bringing hands in at your heart. Begin to shift your weight into your right foot. And then just take your left foot, step it back so that you're barely grazing your big toe on the floor. Lift your heart up into the crest of your palms. And then we're going to begin to tilt forward like a seesaw. The chest and the leg moving in tandem. And then maybe you reach your arms back. Hold steady. One more breath. And then hands and feet come together. Take a breath in. And let it go. And we'll do the other side. So Holding steady in that left leg, begin to shift your weight there. And the right toes are going to step back. So the big toe barely grazes the floor. And then begin to shift forward, letting the heart lean into the sides of the palms. Arms might reach back. Hold steady and strong. If you wobble and you fall, just laugh at yourself. Take light of it. Try not to get frustrated. And then come on up. Feet land. Hands join together. And come into a couple half sun salutations and then make our way to the floor. So inhale, let both arms sweep high and wide. And then exhale, big swan dive forward. Inhale and press, straight legs, flat back. Exhale and fold softly. Inhale, let the arms sweep high and wide. Exhale to your heart. Good. And again, inhale, let the arms sweep. Exhale, big swan dive forward. Inhale, hands press, heart swings forward, straight legs in the front. Exhale and fold. Inhale, let the arms sweep. And exhale to your heart. Good. Last time, inhale, let your arms sweep. Exhale and fold. Inhale, extend. And then bring your hands to the floor and walk yourself back to a downward facing dog. In your downward facing dog, spread your palms, wobble your hips. Take some time here. And then lower your knees to the floor and find a child's pose. And again, if child pose isn't comfortable for you, always sit back on your heels and stay more upright. One more breath. And we're going to find our way back into a tabletop shape. And stacking shoulders over your wrists. You're going to do just like we did at the beginning of class. You're going to take your left leg and extend it behind you. And pause. And then reach your right arm forward and find balance. Good. And then lower your right hand to the floor with your left leg straight. Bring the ball of your foot to the floor. Push through your heel. And take a moment. Good, and then begin to spin your right shin out to the right. You're going to drop your left heel and then reach your left arm up and open up to the side. Take a moment here. Keep extending the chest open. And then you have some choices. You can stay right here. You might take that top arm and reach it across your ear for a big diagonal stretch. From here, you might keep your foot on the floor. Maybe you begin to lift that left leg up. You can bend the knee, circle that left hand around, and touch your foot. Roll the chest open. Keep kicking the foot into the hand if you've got it. And then slowly release. Spin yourself around to the front of your mat. And let's find a downward facing dog. So tuck your toes under and lift up and down. And let's come into the other side. So dropping knees to the floor. And go ahead and extend the right leg back. Pause. And then reach the left arm forward. Good. Lower your left thumb down. Keep the right leg extended and bring the ball of your foot to the floor. You're going to push through your heel. And then begin to spin that left shin out. And you're going to drop your right heel and peel that right arm up. Open up the chest. You might stay just like this. Or you might take that arm up and across your ear. Good. You might stay like that. Or you might begin to lift your leg, bend your knee, and reach back and catch your foot. You kick that foot into your hand. Open up the chest. It's fine if you're hanging out in one of the previous shapes. Take one more breath wherever you are. And then release. Spin yourself around. Take one more downward facing dog. Few breaths in. And then begin to lengthen yourself out into a plank pose. Knees can always drop to the floor. And we'll lower to our belly. Once you get there, go ahead and just bring your hands underneath your forehead. Let the weight of your body settle. And bend your knees and let them shift from side to side. And then lower your legs down to the floor. You're going to keep your left hand underneath your forehead and reach your right arm long. With your next inhale, go ahead and lift your head and your chest and simultaneously float your right arm and your left leg. And then lower down. Take a resting breath in and let it go. And we'll do the same thing again, same side. Go ahead and lift the head and chest, and then allow the right arm and the left leg to lift. And then fold both hands underneath your head and take a resting breath. And we'll do the other side. So reaching the left arm forward. Start with your head on the back of your right palm. And then lift your chest. Extend through the right leg. Let it lift. And lift your left arm. And lower down. And we've got it one more time. Go ahead. Extend through your right toe. Lift your chest. Lift your arm. lower down. Everything soft. And then hands under your shoulders. Bring your hips back towards your heels. Find a child's pose or sitting upright on your heels. Just another moment here. And then let's come on to our backs. So come on to your back. You can have your knees bent so that your feet are solidly pressed to the floor. And take a couple of breaths here. Good. And then go ahead and cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Pause like this for just a moment. Without the use of your hands, you're going to pick up that right foot and begin to draw your legs closer towards your belly. And then lower that foot down. And do that a few more times on your own. So you pick up the foot, you contract the hip flexor and draw the legs in. Maybe do it 3 more times. And then on the last one, go ahead and interlace your fingers behind your thigh. If you have trouble reaching that or it causes strain in the neck and the shoulders, back of the head, go ahead and grab a strap or a belt or a scarf, and you can use that to loop behind your leg so that your hands can be further apart and the neck and the shoulders can release and relax. And take a few breaths here. And drawing the legs in with steady pressure of the hands or the belt behind the back of the leg. And then lower your right foot down, keeping the cross of your legs. Bring your arms out wide into a T. And then walk your right foot over towards the right edge of your mat. And allow your legs to fall down and over to the left. See if you can allow them to just sink, using the weight of the bones and gravity to bring you into a deeper opening rather than any kind of will or effort or push. You keep relaxing that right shoulder down, but if you're really heavy, see if it can remain in contact with the earth. And then inhale and draw your legs back up. Unwind them, uncross them, stretch them long, let them go wide, and your arms go wide overhead. So you're making a big X shape with your body. And then let the arms relax by your side, and the knees bend, feet on the floor. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Roll the thigh out. And again, just engaging the hip flexors but not using your hands to help you. Draw both legs in towards your belly and set the foot. And draw the legs in and set it down. And do it a few more times. Maybe 3 total. And then on this next one, you're drawing the legs in and catching behind that pad. And again, if this causes a lot of strain in the neck or the back, use something to widen your grip. Take another handful of breaths. And then lower your foot down. Good. Walk your foot over to the side and let your legs fall down and over to the right. Again, try to drop into that heavy, weighty quality to the legs. And try to maintain contact with the floor behind that left shoulder. And then let the legs come up. And the legs are uncrossed. And again, like you're making an X. So spread the legs wide, let the arms go wide up overhead. So you have lots of space. And then draw both knees in towards your belly. Take a little time here. Rock from side to side. And then lower your feet to the floor. We're going to come into a couple minutes of stillness. Your Shavasana period at the end of class to relax and let go. And so you can do this with your eyes open but closed, hands by your side on your belly. You might stretch your legs longer. You might keep them just like they were, bent with the feet on the floor. Sometimes that's more supportive for the lower back. If lying on your back is just not comfortable, you can always come up into a seat. If you choose to do that, keep your eyes closed, attention, and focusing. And so just like the rest of the class, all of the movement, the strengthening, the stretching, this period of stillness and surrender is everybody's important. A chance for the body to integrate and digest everything that is happening over the course of this episode. ahead and deepen your breath. You're reaching arms overhead as you let out a sigh. Head turn from side to side. And then eventually gather your knees in towards your belly. Roll yourself off to either side or directly up to a seat. And join me in seated position. Again, have your legs, your body arranged in another way. Please receive. Just take a moment to notice how your feet draw our practice. And returning to just the final couple of passages, poem I read at the beginning. Breathing in, we are the feet. Breathing out, we are the feet. Breathing in, we are the feet. Breathing out, we are the peace. Breathing in, we are the hope. Breathing out, we are the justice. May we know our strength. May we be filled with courage. May our love flow from us into this world. Bring your hands to your heart, sealing in these words, carrying them with you into the We'll take a deep bow of gratitude to one another and all the gifts that this practice has to offer. Thank you very much for spending this time with me this week, whenever you